Hello everyone. I want to talk about certain observations in the occult and the tantra. It's more about the Western occult, which I'm studying since many years, and how it impacted on throughout the last 2 centuries, and its impact on whole Earth. Right now, I'm in LA, California, and previously I'm traveling across the United States, so I'm coming across lots of old bookstore, especially in New York and Boston, and I really found some interesting books. So the topic I wanted to speak, it is related with the occult, and so in between I will show the books which I bought, because books convey they spread the knowledge everywhere. So if somebody from you is interested in this kind of topics, Western occult magic, hermetic magic, Kabbalah, and obviously Tantra, then you can get some reference, some insight, or you can uh, read those books also. So I'm following certain trail of the Western magic or Western occult influences. I will avoid using the words general words like Illuminati or secret society. There are secret societies, like there were secret societies, but I'm trying to just I will tell you like what line of thought I'm following. So there was a Queen of England in late 16th century, Queen Elizabeth I, and at that time the American continent was discovered, just like 50 years before her before her rule started, and the with different companies from Europe, at that time the companies were established for trading. Like when they found a new route to reach Asia, to reach India, then the East India Company, the British East India Company, Dutch East India Company, similarly French company were established in Europe. There was competition at that time in different these businessmen uh, to bring more trade, and along the trade there was army campaigns, but uh, these these trading companies were closely involved with British royals or the royals of these few European countries. I'm now focusing only on the British side. So when at the Queen Elizabeth's time, why that queen is important, I will explain to you. There is one theory in not theory, actually Dayanand Saraswati of Arya Samaj and Madam H.P. Blavatsky, who was founder of Theosophical Society. They expressed certain opinions about the Vedas or the secret knowledge of India. Like we have the uh, Vedas still with us, but all the literature, all the scriptures we don't have. Like the subject which I follow, the Viman Shastra, and the book I wrote, like Vedic Space Technology, in which I mentioned 40 books on the advanced science and technology. So those books are not anywhere found. They are not in any library of India. I have checked the catalogorium, which is a catalog of the catalogs. Like it is a list of the all the manuscripts listed in different libraries. So in that catalog, I didn't find these books like the Brihad Viman Shastra, Bharadwaj Viman Shastra, Amshu Bodhini, Yantra Sarvasva, Agastya Samhita. All these books are missing. and they are not even in US libraries or in the European libraries also either. Like obviously they are totally taken out from the public eye. So Blavatsky of Theosophical Society and Dayanand Saraswati of Arya Samaj, they expressed once during their speeches that the secret books of knowledge were taken out from India during Akbar's rule. Now, both have given different explanations for that, like who took it, but that's a different thing. But that was the time when Akbar was ruling in India. So the Akbar's connection, and at that time, Queen Elizabeth. At that time, East India Company didn't started the business in India yet. They didn't had any army or nothing at that time. It was a 1570 or something that time. They had some their branch in Gujarat coast, I think, and in southern India. Southern India mostly Kerala coast or the Goa were under Portuguese at that time, and the eastern coast were under again Portuguese and French. So British were trying to explore. They had some merchants in Calcutta and in Gujarat. So one from the Gujarat, he took some like gifts for Akbar, and along with the gifts, he gave Akbar the letter from the Elizabeth, this Queen Elizabeth first. And in that letter, she obviously that letter is very general, like wishing the ruler of the India and hoping like trade will increase, that kind of conveying messages. But we should see the person who studies the occult and goes deeper into the research. We should see the connection. The Queen Elizabeth is there and the Akbar's rule is there, and we know from the quite a good occultist and the Siddhas, like Akbar's time, uh, the books of the knowledge were taken out from India. Now, in England, what happened at that time? So, at the time of Queen Elizabeth, there was one magician. He was a alchemist, fortune teller, like he was a astrologer. His name was John Day, and he was very close consultant of Queen Elizabeth. And even though he was close, some rift happened in between, and he was put into prison. And then he came out of the prison, and in the prison, he was contacted by some different beings from other world, and he brought certain kind of occult magic and spells, the symbolism, letters. It's called the alphabet. I will show you the book. They are called Enochian magic or Enochian alphabets. So he brought that into first time on the earth. Like he contacted, or those beings contacted him, and from that he started influencing the Queen Elizabeth, and she, the royal family of England, and the John Day, they designed this plan of the world colonization. And recently, when I went to Pennsylvania, there is a very ancient river called Susquehanna. It's the most ancient river on the earth, and the name of that river is very similar to the Kamakhya Yonipeat. The meaning of the Susquehanna river is a muddy water. So in the Kaul tantras we follow, like in Kamakhya during the Ambuvachi festival, the left-hand tantrics, Vamachari tantrics, Kaul tantrics gather together. Like during the 3 days, the goddess is in the menstruation. So then, after fourth day, her water becomes muddy red, and that's how she is worshipped in Kamakya. Now, this river in US, she's called muddy water by because of the color of that water and the associated practice with that river by the Native Americans who were living nearby that river. So I will come to that point, like why I'm giving this connection. So the John Day told Elizabeth that to rule the world, you have to subdue all the local deities of the lands of different continents, like what we call Kshetrapal, Gram Devat, Kula Devat, protecting deities of the families. Like earlier days, families mostly lived together in the village or in small town. So to subdue these deities and the protecting deities of the villages, so when you subdue those deities, then that it gives you opening. So first, like Spanish already started to colonize the Southern American continent. They were in northern part also, some areas. And in 1612 or 1612 to 1618, Captain John Smith, who was working for Virginia Trading Company, first time he came to US on the North American continent, and he is the first British colonizer of the United States of America. He came to Virginia, he established the towns like Jamestown, and he made that map of the Virginia, in which he plotted the map of this Susquehanna River. And the interesting things I came across in this research, like at near that river in Virginia, Pennsylvania, Virginia, that boundaries, these are the modern states alongside of that river. There the foundation of British colonization of the entire planet was founded. Now this John Smith, again you can see the connection between the word John. Earlier the occult consultant of the Queen Elizabeth I was John Day. So this John Smith, he first colonized this northern continent of America, and that period you will see it was like a 1620s time, 1620s to 1640s. At that time, the British first came to India. Like the time is very similar. The time of first colonization of the northern continent of America and landing of the British. Though in Akbar's time there was some communication to to merchants, but in 1620s, 1630s, the British started establishing their own setup. They started set up in near Mumbai and in Gujarat, and then slowly they came to the Kolkata, and then later history we know, like till even in the Shivaji Maharaj's Rajabhishek in 1674, the Augsburg, he was a representative of the East India Company, so he came to Raigad Fort at the time of the Rajabhishek. So you see that same span, and from 16th century to 17th century, the colonization of US, now again I'm saying US, is Northern American continent, was almost, it came under the British East India Company. And after that you see in India they started pushing it. Then in 18th century with the wars, then they took over. So there is this some connection is there. So and then you see how this magic goes further. I'm not going much detail into that. Like from that to 19th century and William Jones, Cunningham, Cornwallis. Now this Cornwallis is very interesting. Again, the connection. The Cornwallis, who was general in British Army, who fought against the Americans during their War of Independence, and he surrendered to George Washington. And the same Cornwallis, after his defeat in Northern America, he came back to England, and then he was given he came to India, and he became a commanding general and kind of first viceroy of India. So he was posted in Kolkata. At that time, already British have took the Plassey, and most of part of the eastern Bengal was under the East India Company. And this Cornwallis is a very interesting person who had very good relation with the Madhavrao Peshwa. And Peshwas and Cornwallis together, they defeated Tipu Sultan. Now this Cornwallis is given the credit. There are many statues of Cornwallis in India. In Calcutta there is one statue. In Mumbai there was one statue which was removed afterwards. And he brought taxation system. He is also considered as the first judge, I think. Judiciary system is started in India. Many tax reforms he brought. Till then, the Muslims had free run in India. Even the Peshwas also were not able to put them under the law. So he stopped all their rioting in Bengal and put them under the British law. And he actually made the Hindu law also based on the different smrtis. He made the translation of the smrtis and form a general law. At the same time, you can see the William Jones, and this Cornwallis, who started the Banaras Hindu Sanskrit College in Varanasi, in Banaras. That now is a Sampurnananda Sanskrit University. That's the first Hindu college in India. So you see the connections of the rivers and connections of the figures, the important people who are connected. And this during this time, like William Jones, Cornwallis, and Cunningham, the again more interpolation happened in our books, especially in the astronomy, in the Puranas, in the many books like Ayurveda, Shilpa Shastra. Interpolations happen, and many original books are just taken away from the surface. So now you see, if you go deeper, what is a secret society? Secret society is the real hiding a real secret is hiding it in plain sight. So this will be a more detailed topic to discuss, but from John Day, Queen Elizabeth, and the British royals, and the British administrator, and then you see the Theosophical Society, then founding of Congress, and even the right-wing movements. Many right-wing movements were inspired by these thinkers or their earlier work, like Blavatsky's work. So this is how you can trace. Now that will be a different thing, and it will not be wise to talk on the video, like who were the main players after that, and who might be the current ones in this whole game. But I will show you the books like this. This is a John Day and the Empire of Angels, Enochian Magic. This one book I got. 5 books I got. This is again Hieroglyphic Monad, Diary of John Day. Then this is The Secret of John Day by Gordon James. This is another book. This is some experts by Aleister Crowley's work. It's called Enochian Sex Magic and How to Work. So this sex magic, again, when it comes to the Tantra, so these are the books on the Enochian magic, and this another book I got, Hermetic Brotherhood of Luxor. This is about the French occultist Max Thion, who inspired Blavatsky to some extent, and who was teacher of Mira Alfonso, who was a spiritual partner of Yogi Arvind, and her and Yogi Arvind Samadhi is in Pondicherry. So that Mira Alfonso's guru was this Max Thion, who founded the Hermetic Brotherhood of Luxor. And then afterwards Aleister Crowley, who was inspired from these traditions, and the beast, they call him, 666. So I got few books of him, about him, Aleister Crowley and the Practice of Magical Diary. That's one book I got. Then this Handbook of Rituals of Thelema, The Magic of Aleister Crowley. These all are mostly Western occult books. One book I will show that book. So these are the Western occult books. And Tantra, obviously, we have here, like my collection of tantric books is quite huge. So when I'm visiting these Western bookshops, I'm more interested into get insight about the occult and the Western occult magic, because somehow that the spiritual moment, this is spiritual means not the adhyatma kind of spiritual, it's about contacting the other world, spiritualism. So that movement was started in US near New York in 1848, and that year or 2 years before, I think 1846, Neptune was discovered. So these are very coincidences. We call it as synchronicities. So that's how we trace. We go behind the mask. We go behind the covers and try to find the secret. To try to find the reasoning or who caused what. Like understand the connection through the names, numerology, places, then the energies of the places you feel. That's how. The another last book I will show is he's my one favorite person, Captain Richard Burton. This is his biography. He was the who found the source of the Nile River. He used some maps from the Puranas, which give from the Meru Parvat. Then we go down, and there are different varshas like Bharat Varsha, Ila Varsha, like that on Jambudvip. So in that, different rivers are given which start from the Meru. And he found in Africa there is a mountain named Meru, and then he traced the Nile River to its source. So he is created for the finding the source of Nile. Then he went to Africa. At that time, Western Africa had some cannibal people ruling there. He visited them. He was like one of the bravest person, and he knew 49 languages. He translated Arabian Nights in English from Arabic, and he was the first non-Muslim person who visited Kaaba. And he memorized Quran quite a bit, and he painted his whole body with henna like a mehndi, so it will look brown. And he tattooed some Quranic verses on his body. Then he did even circumcision, because during that journey there was a risk like how you pee on the roadside, so they will know like you are a Muslim or not. So he did circumcision to look completely 100% Muslim. And there is story also, like once he killed his one servant, one Muslim servant who suspected him like he is not Muslim. Because even if you do circumcision, the habit of standing and peeing will not go. So it's like that. So he wrote very interesting books on the East African traveling. Arabian Nights is like a huge insights. It's like encyclopedia for Arabian culture, like pre-Islamic or Islamic Arabian culture, about the sexual life of Arabic people, Africans, and more deeper. Like so that's how he opened the Western world to the Arabic culture and quite extent Indian culture also. So the Richard Burton, this many like 30-40 books he wrote. And so these are the books during my travel I'm collecting the knowledge from the flowers. So if you like, message me or comment. If you like these kind of topics, these are a little different from the traditional tantric topics which I talk, because the magic is similar everywhere. If you go to Egypt, you go to Mexico, India, Tibet, Japan, China, North America, Mongolia, Europe, the ancient Germans, ancient Scottish. Like if you have seen the movie like a Da Vinci Code, you might have got some glimpse of the sexual magic. So it's because the principles are similar. All our human body have similar principles, and Earth is same everywhere. So the principles of the Panchamahabhut, and on the Panchamahabhut, the Panchamahamakar are best. So the Madhya, Mouse and Maithun is same everywhere. So these are the most potent subjects from which the magical powers are explored. So if you want me to compare the different magical practices, I can make that kind of videos, like to give more information about that. Or if you want me to go deeper into the Vamachar Tantra, that obviously I go deeper after the initiation. That will be more on the personal based teaching. So if you like these kind of topics, then do let me know. After many days, like months, I'm posting video on my YouTube channel and even on the Instagram about like detailed video like this. So you can follow my page on the Facebook, so Vama Path of Shakti. You can visit the website vamapath.com, and you can subscribe the channel and my Instagram page. So I can share more knowledge with you. Goodbye.